Part 2. Mia stared out the window, tears streaming down her face. Her words echoed in my head. The baby. He might not be yours. As we entered our apartment, the sight of the half-assembled crib in the corner made my stomach lurch. I couldn't look at it. I couldn't look at her. I need some air, I muttered, grabbing my keys and leaving Mia standing alone in our living room. I drove aimlessly for hours, my mind a whirlwind of emotions. Anger, betrayal, grief, and underneath it all, a love for the child I'd thought was mine. How could I walk away from him? But how could I stay, knowing he might be a constant reminder of Mia's infidelity? When I finally returned home, Mia was asleep on the couch, her cheeks stained with tears. I stood watching her for a moment, remembering all we'd shared, all we'd planned. How had we ended up here? The next few weeks were a blur of prenatal appointments, forced conversations, and sleepless nights. I moved into the spare room, unable to lie next to Mia without feeling sick to my stomach. As her due date approached, the tension between us grew. We needed to make a decision. We needed to know the truth. I want a paternity test, I told her one night. As soon as the baby's born. Mia nodded, her hand resting on her swollen belly. Okay, she whispered. Whatever you need. The day our son was born was the most confusing day of my life. Holding him in my arms, seeing his tiny fingers wrap around mine, I felt a love so fierce it took my breath away. How could I not be his father? But the doubt lingered, a constant shadow over what should have been the happiest time of our lives. 2 weeks after bringing him home, we got the results. I stared at the envelope, terrified to open it. Whatever it says, Mia said, her voice trembling, I want you to know that I love you. We can get through this. I took a deep breath and tore open the envelope. As I read the results, my world shattered all over again. He's not mine, I said, my voice hollow. Mia broke down, sobbing uncontrollably. I wanted to comfort her, but I couldn't. The pain was too raw, too fresh. That night, as Mia slept in the nursery, I packed my bags. With every item I put in my suitcase, I felt a piece of my heart break off. I wrote Mia a letter, explaining that I couldn't stay, that the betrayal was too much to overcome. As I stood in the nursery doorway, watching Mia and the baby sleep, I felt torn in two. Part of me wanted to stay, to be the father this child deserved, regardless of biology. But I knew that path would lead to resentment and pain for all of us. I'm sorry, little one, I whispered, tears streaming down my face. I hope someday you'll understand. I left my keys on the kitchen counter next to the letter. As I closed the apartment door behind me, I felt a finality that took my breath away. This was really happening. I was walking away from the life I thought I'd have. The next few months were the hardest of my life. I threw myself into work, moved to a new apartment, tried to rebuild. But the pain lingered, a constant ache in my chest. Mia reached out several times, begging me to reconsider, to be part of the baby's life. Each time, when I look at this baby, reminds me Mia was cheated. I had to remind myself why I left, why staying would have destroyed us all in the end.